Alright, Workbench vlog. It's definitely been a while, but today I'm going to be showing you all some projects that I have on the workbench here. Some of these are projects that I've been doing on and off for the last year now. Some of them are more recent, but even some of the older projects, progress has been made on them since last time. But I'll go ahead and show you all what I have here, and I'll maybe throw in a few surprises as well. One of the recent projects I've been tackling is I finished assembling this custom state truck I was building, which this was originally a cab on a tanker chassis that I moved to a dump truck chassis. And then I painted the bed this metallic aluminum color, which I quite like. I've still got to paint some details on the back here, plus I got to add the decal, which is basically these reflective stripes. These are water slides, so get one of those to put on the back of this, and I'll add it to my fleet of state trucks. I do want to make two more of these, and I do actually have the cabs here, but I don't have the dump truck frames, unfortunately. I've got to order those. I might end up getting a couple more of the tankers that I used here because somewhere I lost the interior piece to one of these cabs, and unfortunately I can't find it. But yeah, I was really pleased to have another one of these done. That gives me 6 of these total in my fleet so far. But like I said, I'd like to have 8 of them when it's all said and done. Another project has been these pickup trucks right here. I think 3 of them I started a year ago, and one of them's more recent. But the first one is this 1989 Dodge Ram, and this was one that I actually built one of these a couple years back for someone, and I quite like the look of it, so I wanted one for myself. You can see this is a two-tone paint job here. I've still got more work to do to this, painting some details. I got to fit a rear hitch, that's what's in the bed there, but I got the toolbox. I added steps to this, but I'm yet to paint them. And I think at some point I would want to add Dodge Ram to the tailgate. That'll be a water slide decal there. But then I've also got this 2012 Duramax. I think I might have showed this in my last workbench vlog, but it's been a project going in and making custom parts for it, the mirrors especially. I did make a post on that. You can see I also added a toolbox in the bed here. And yeah, I think this is mostly done. Still want to add a couple more things to it. Then there's this, I think it's a 1956 Ford F1. And really all I've done with this is I've painted the interior gray, painted the grill silver, painted the bed black, added new wheels. I've actually installed new axles underneath this to try to lift it. But I just don't feel it's complete. I think the truck needs something more, but I'm not sure what to add to it. So as much as I'd like to call it done, I just can't bring myself to get it off the bench at this time. And then lastly, there's this 1983 Chevy Silverado crew cab that I'm working on. And I've kind of hit a, dead end, for lack of a better term, with this, because I don't know what color to paint this truck. Currently it's sitting in the gray primer, and I don't know. I was thinking like a metallic blue, but then part of me is kind of thinking, maybe red. I just don't know. Maybe if some of you guys got some ideas of what color I can paint this, feel free to leave it down in the comments. But yeah, that one I just started recently, but these other 3 I think I've had on the bench for the last year now. Now, I've made progress on the Supernatural Ghost trucks since the last time that I showed these, and at this time I've started reassembling them. This one here is one that's, kind of further along, I guess. You can see that it's been assembled somewhat, painted the front details like the lights in the grill. I wanted to add some trim around the windows and such, but I found that the actual truck didn't have that. Same with the bumpers, they were basically blacked out, and even the Dodge on the back tailgate. I'm not even sure the truck had a tailgate like this. It's kind of hard to tell because of the limited references and footage, but I do like how the hood scoop turned out. And if I just set it down here, I can actually pull the top off, and you can see I've started adding new axles onto the frame. They've just been JB welded in place right now. Eventually I am going to go in and repaint the entire frame black. Quite like these wheels, and even though the actual truck didn't have BF Goodwrench tires, I think I'm just going to leave them. But then there's also the second one that I'm working on for Eddie, and it's about the same deal. I got the axles underneath this one, but I haven't finished installing the wheels. Really, it's not necessary until the frames have been painted. Also got some car projects on the bench. The first one being this 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner, which I think I've been working on this on and off for the last 2 years now, and finally got around to painting it. I went with this metallic orange and painted the hood black. I gave it a clear coat, which I think turned out really nice. And I also took time, put the extra effort into adding the trim around the windows and such. And probably one more thing I'd like to do with this is add the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote graphic on the side of it there. I think that looked pretty cool. Also got this 1969 Roadrunner, which this is actually a custom for Eddie, basically replicating his uncle's car. Really the only thing I've done with this is I've swapped out the white interior for a black one, and trying to think, there is some other modifications I need to do to this. But yeah, that's a project for him. And then lastly is this Subaru Brat. Now, for those that don't know what the Subaru Brat was, it was basically a throwaway car. And that being the case, I'm trying to make this look like a junkyard piece. Painted the driver's side door and the driver's side fender this red oxide primer. Cracked the windshield, and then I painted the passenger side door blue just to look like it has mixed matched parts. There's probably more stuff I want to do with this. I did replace the wheels because I didn't like the Hot Wheels ones that came on it. But that's sort of like that square body Chevy I showed. I'm kind of stuck on where I want to go from here. Got two more recent projects on the workbench here. The first being this replica of the local fire department's Mack R model tanker, and then also their Cub Cadet side-by-side. Now, you can see with the tanker what I'm going for here. And really, this was actually a truck that I built clear back in 2016. Although, after building it, I noticed there was quite a few things wrong that I actually ended up going in and correcting the following year. But then, I think it was a couple years after I built this truck, the real tanker also went in for rebuild. So that meant I had to do some more cosmetic changes to my replica as well. And I will be honest, looking back on it, there was a few things with the truck I just wasn't satisfied with. And had I had a opportunity to do it again, definitely would have done things differently, which unfortunately last year I ended up knocking this off my workbench, and it sustained quite a bit of damage, mainly to the tanker body and the paint work. And although it was unfortunate, I kind of saw it as an opportunity to build this truck back better than it was before. So I went ahead and got a new cab for it, since tearing apart the old one wasn't really an option. And I started working on the tanker body, completely stripping it, patching it, and fixing the damaged parts of it. And then basically gonna try to correct things that were wrong with the first one. One of the big things is I've been working on the crow's nest here, trying to get that to look more accurate than it was before. Then also I'm adding some better parts to it, and I'd like to try and incorporate working lights on this truck. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to order those yet, just because my wallet took a financial blow that I wasn't expecting. So this and quite a few things have kind of been put on hold at the moment. But if I just go around to my other table here, you can see these are the parts from the cab that I tore apart. There's also some pieces from the original tanker that I plan on reusing. But these pieces here, I'm not going to bother with. There's also the old cab to the truck, which I'm not going to throw this out. I'm just going to set it aside. And I'll probably keep it just as a memento, I guess. But yeah, there's that stuff. But going back onto the bench here, I've also got the side-by-side, which I was talking about earlier. This is a Cub Cadet one, which I actually modified a Yamaha, which is what you see here. Still quite a bit of work to do with this. I've got to fit this rack to the front, but I can't do that until I've got all the other details done. That's going to be one of the last things to be added, because once it's on there, I can't really take this apart. And then there's also this tank and pump system, which there we go. Been working on this. This is all scratch built from styrene. I did rob some parts from a brush truck, but need to get the paint for that, and that's going to go in the back of this as well. And then one other little thing I made, which hopefully I can zoom in on this. This is a tiny replica of the tanker that I'm building, and it's made to look like a 1/16 scale model in 1/64 scale. I built these before. They're just carved out of balsa wood and little details added. Quite a nice little truck there. But one of the last things I want to do here is I also want to make a replica of the fire department's engine rescue combo that they got last year there. I found the parts for it. I just need to order them. Hoping to get all that and get that done here before May. I've actually got to try to get all this done before the end of March, I mean, because I've got a show coming up in April that I want to take all this stuff to, and it needs to be ready by then. I'm sure some of you might be wondering what's happened to the pulling tractors I was working on last time, and I've still been making progress on them as well. The Agri King here, you can see it's currently in gray primer. It's got the roll bar. I'm yet to get some proper front wheels for this. There's also some patching on this that I need to do, but overall it seems to be coming along nicely. I did find a seat for this, which I do have right here. Sort of like a racing seat, and that'll just go right on there to replace the tractor seat. And then there's also this Massey Ferguson. I'm not sure on the model of this, just because there was no decals on it when I got it. But I've done some patching on this to the frame. Also been working on rebuilding the grill to this. And also got the roll bar fitted to this as well. Still need to find a seat. I replaced the steering wheel on this because the old one was damaged. And this one here too, I also need to source some front wheels, although I feel I might have to raise the front axle up a little bit. The tractor seems to be sitting too level in my opinion. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I am making progress on these two, but it's taking a bit of time. These are actually the first ever pulling tractors that I've ever built. Now this is possibly one of the oldest customs I have on the workbench here, and I think I started it about 5 or 6 years ago, and I just never got around to getting the rest of the parts to finish it. Originally this was an Ertl Peterbilt grain truck, which I think the cab was either black or white, and it had John Deere on it. But the thing I didn't really like with it is it had the stacks molded into the plastic, and I figured this truck would look good as a custom, so I went ahead and repainted it with this fire red paint, which this is the paint that I said you can't get anymore. Added the silver stripe on the side here, which a little sloppy. And then I also painted the tarp on the trailer with that same fire red. But plan was to get some DCP wheels to add to this to make it look better, and then either make some stacks or buy some stacks to put on this. But I don't know what the deal was. I never got around to doing any of that, and this found its way into the project bin. I'd kind of like to get the rest of the parts for this here soon and get it finished so I can finally, well, add it to my collection. Another thing I have here, this isn't really a project that's been on the bench for a while, but I got this truck many years ago, and unfortunately it's had some damage to it. One of the mirrors got knocked off. It is in the bed there. And then there's some paint on this that could be touched up and cleaned up. I'd kind of like to do some modifications to this truck, but I'm not exactly sure what at this time. Might try to customize it into possibly some sort of a fire truck, like a brush truck or what have you. Another project I've been working on, which isn't actually on the workbench, is I've been cleaning and rearranging my display cabinets to try to put some stuff away. And this bigger cabinet over here, this is where I keep my big trucks. And I've attempted to try to put 2 of them per shelf on this, which the first cabinet, I think I did a pretty good job, but the second one, some of these trucks are just too large to do that. Like some of them are stretched, some of them are like your heavy hauls, and then you got like the one here with the big butt, it's just too wide. But I've got a couple little treasures in here. You can see there's my custom Mad Max motorcycle that I built. Then I've also got the big dually pickup truck that I built. If you follow my community tab, you probably saw that. I've got a load of round bales on that. This lower cabinet, I'm yet to really clean up and do anything with that. I've kind of just thrown some stuff in there for the time being. These middle cabinets, I've not made any changes to them. I don't know if I'll mess with those or not. But like this cabinet over here, this is all pretty much construction equipment. And then you can see I've got my state trucks there as well. And then this cabinet here is basically fire apparatus, and top shelf I've got police cars and what have you. And then that cabinet there, I've not really done anything with that yet. But one of those deals, definitely looks better. It's nice to get some stuff put away. And if you want to see a separate video just looking at these cabinets, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And I think that's pretty much going to be it for this workbench vlog. Showed you guys pretty much all the projects I'm working on. I didn't show everything because there were some projects I just haven't made any progress on at all, and not really that interesting. But yeah, looking forward to getting some of these done and off the workbench and into my collection. And you know, probably start on more stuff after I finish up what I've got here. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. You guys can feel free to let me know your thoughts on any of the customs that I've shown in this video in the comments down below. And I will catch you guys here hopefully with another diecast review in the future. So until next time, take care.